Okay, we're live. Let's make sure we've got speakers and everything. This is James Middick speaking, trainingsites.io. We've got an open classroom Wednesday at 1 o'clock. These are totally live, unscripted sessions. So if something works or doesn't work, let me know. I'll do my best to fix things as best as I can. So just want to make sure I have the sound off on the other side. If there is any issues with the sound, please let me know. I'll actually double check here on my other one, my other screen, just to make sure that there are no issues. Again, please let me know in the chat or the comments below, and I'll do my best to check. So what do we got here? Let's do my sound so we can hear it. Over on the other side. Where are we? Have we got some sound? Give me a hello or a heads up there. I think we do. Live chat. Who's here? We've got... Let me just check this out right now, because one of the things that happens sometimes is I don't know how to work it with the chat. So let's see if I got it. Hey, there we go. There's hello. Who's there? Who? I don't know. Oh, there's Lance. Hey, welcome, Lance. Volume is a little low, so let me see if I can turn that up or make that work a little bit better. Thank you. Okay, there we go, Jack. Welcome along. Again, I haven't done these ones with the chat built in, playing around with this, so if it doesn't work, let me know. And again, the sound, if there are issues, please give me a thumbs up or let me know what's going on. Is that any better right there? We got a little bit better sound? Turn that up. Okay. As always, again, these are live sessions. If you do have some chats or questions, put them in and I'll do my best to answer them. And hopefully help you create online courses, learn how to use this AI stuff, and basically just play around and have some fun sharing your experiences. There's no set schedule today, and I'm just going to see if I can turn up my volume right to the max, if that works. Any better? And I'll try and speak a little louder and we'll go from there. Okay, so what do we got here? This is actually fun for me because a lot of times there's not tons and tons of people on. Sometimes I end up talking to myself for an hour, but hopefully, hopefully there are some questions and I'll do my best to answer them. So put some questions in the comments. What do you want to talk about? Online courses, private branded campuses, some of the tools we're using, that kind of thing. Would love to learn a little bit more about what's going on with your projects and how I can possibly help. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please make sure and do that. I try and do these or some kind of video every day, just stuff that's going on that I'm learning or excited about, and then how it applies to starting, building, and growing an education business. Okay, loud and clear. That's always good to know. What do you want to see? What do you want to talk about? What can I help you with? Let me know. Put it in the comments, put it in the chat. We'll go from there. And if no one asks me any questions, I may just talk for a little bit about private branded campuses, because I think over this next year, actually I did a video today, I just launched it a couple minutes ago, talking about the tipping point for online courses. And I think there's an interesting spot coming over this next year that if you're in the education business, there's a good question. What are those platforms that can post courses? I'll cover that one. If you haven't had watched the video I just did, please go and watch it. I've been thinking about what's happening for anyone that's creating online courses or doing all of this stuff with AI over the last little while, learning prompts and creating syllabuses and organizing content and doing research with AI. I think I don't want to call it a problem, but there's some choices that we all have to make about what we're going to do with an education business and creating online courses. And I think we're at a tipping point right now where things are going to change really, really quickly, and you're going to have to choose which kind of side do you want to fall on. And that video was about the content glut that is coming. I think I did last week, I did a video, it was on VideoFX, the VO2 engine from Google, where they show demos of you just put 1 or 2 paragraphs in and you get a 30-second or 45-second video. So it's no longer staging areas and microphones and cameras and stuff. It was realistic. And if that happens over the next couple months, the barrier to creating content is going to be very, very low. And we're going to see a lot of people that are creating this kind of content. And it's going to be hard to differentiate itself and to build an audience because everyone's going to be creating content. And I think it's going to be, a lot of it is going to be on YouTube. And we're going to have a situation where people who would normally have bought your course because they ran into it or they were marketed to, or you spent ads, or you were doing social media, they're going to be going to YouTube for answers, and it's going to be overwhelming for them. So there's something that happens after that, and that's the part that I'm going to be spending time on over the next year. And I'm calling it a private or personally branded campus. And I think one of the questions there was just, what kind of platforms can you put those on? And I think what I'll do is I'll do a little introduction today on that. And if there are questions or things you want to find out about it, let me know. So I'm going to pull up my trusty video pencil here. And again, if there are any issues with the technology stuff, let me know. I'm here in my pretend office with all my equipment in front of me. There's no moderator here today. So here's kind of where I think things are going with online courses and how you can take advantage of that. There's two kind of choices if you look at what's going to happen with how you deliver things or the platforms. And by the way, this whole idea of platforms, I think, is step 4 in the campus map. So if you haven't taken that course yet at trainingsites.io, make sure to take the campus map one, because I go through the 10 pieces. And I think number 4 and number 5 off the top of my head is the one about a delivery platform, or the way you can deliver it. And it kind of focuses on courses, but there's more to it right now. And so if we take a look, and I'm just going to put courses on this side, that platform for delivering courses, you have two choices. One is that you own the platform, and the other one is that you rent the platform. And what I mean by that is, if you put your platform where you're delivering the courses from, if you do it on WordPress, on your own hosting account, with your own email CRM kind of tools where you capture email addresses, you have all of the transactions. If it's a self-hosted one, that's the ownership one. And there's a couple suites or a couple ways that can be done with WordPress. I'll get into those ones, a couple sets of tools. On the other hand, you can use third-party services, which are ones like School, Kajabi, Teachable. There's a whole bunch of them. And I think of those as rented ones. So it's like the difference between owning your house, where you can start and build your house. You have a own plot of land. You've got your own property. You can decide how many bedrooms you want. If you want 2 bathrooms or 3 bathrooms, if you want a rec room or a TV room or a den, you kind of get to decide how that gets set up. Whereas you rent, if you go to an apartment, it's like you have 3 choices. There's the studio, the 1-bedroom, and the 2-bedroom apartment. It's like you pick one of them and you're limited. You can't knock walls down. You can't make changes. And you're limited to, if you're looking for additional things to add to your apartment, it's like you go to the community pool or community workout room that's part of it, and you don't get to choose to add new equipment there or change the pool or add a pool. So you kind of have that balance of how you're going to deliver it, whether you want to own it or rent it. Both work, but it's a business decision that you have to make. And on all of these, those platforms now contain a way to create courses. So if that's what you're thinking, how can I do it? Just let me know again in the chat there if there's any, is it going to be available? Yeah, I'll put this into the campus so that you have access to it. And if you miss it, we'll add a transcription and things as well. So, you have these kind of choices as what you're going to do with it. All of them now make courses available by themselves. But I think if you watch that tipping point kind of one, I don't think courses are enough this year. Building your business on creating and selling courses is going to be even tougher than it was last year. And personally, I'm not going to be creating any traditional courses over the next year. If I look at the campus that I have right now, the online campus that I actually have 40 courses that are in the campus that are not available to people there because they're older courses and they're older traditional courses. I think there's 41 of them that were published that I've had before that I've sold in the past. And I've only been kind of adding some of the courses that were appropriate or the content that was appropriate now, and they're not even full traditional courses. So I'm personally not going to be doing that, and that one that I talked about, the tipping point, is probably why that I'm going to be doing that. So here's what I think you need, or what I'm going to be doing over the next year about building an education business. So again, pardon my penmanship, I tend to scribble. I'm just using, if actually you can see this, I just have my little iPad here and a little thing called a video pencil. It works on the iPad, and I just scribble it down and it goes onto the screen here. So I'm building an education business that includes a whole bunch of things. So these are the kind of pieces that I think have to be in that delivery platform moving forward. You're going to need some place for the courses. So yes, you're still going to have organized or process-driven videos. Some people call them a course or courses. I think you still need that, but there's some additional points I'm going to go through which are extra that are now required if, again, you're just wanting to earn or grow a business as opposed to sell some courses. So you're going to need a thing for courses. The other thing you're going to have is a CRM. And if I use words that you're not sure of, please just let me know in the chat so that I'll go through them and answer them or explain the best way that I can. CRM, if you're unfamiliar with it, is a contact or customer relationship management plugin. And that's actually how I got started with CRM software, 25, 30 years ago. Was being able to, go to businesses and sell software that allowed them to keep track of their customer details, and more importantly now, being able to capture the email addresses and also the profiles of the people that you're interacting with in your business. So you're going to need some kind of customer relationship management tool as a second piece. I personally think that the most important part of CRM and all of the stuff that you're doing in your education business is still email addresses and collecting email addresses. That is the currency that we all have in business, is that ability to reach out and connect with people one-on-one when we want to, if we have a valid email address. So that CRM, again, vitally important. Now, the interesting thing is, if I look at courses in CRM, some of the ones that are over on the rent side don't necessarily have a traditional CRM built into them. Ones like Kajabi do, but if I'm not mistaken, last time I logged into school, there wasn't a way to manage the customer relationship other than in the courses, whether they registered for a course or didn't register for a course, or if it was a free course or a paid course. There wasn't a way to really build a big profile of customers and the transactions that they did in your business, not just in the courses. So we're going to need a CRM, definitely there. And the other part that is really important is community. I'm going to put the word community, and we can talk about it a little bit. And I can't write on that one spot, so it's community. I use the word campus as opposed to community, or I try and use the word campus. And I think a community in the broader sense is if, for example, you go to Facebook, you can build a Facebook community. If you go to any of the other social media platforms, you can build a community or an audience. What you can't do on those ones in the community is basically, it's not a great profile for teaching people. So I like to think of a campus as a community that allows for teaching or sharing of knowledge that's structured in a particular area to a particular audience. But any tool that you're building with this campus, or if you're selling courses, I think you need a CRM, and you're going to need some kind of community function. And that community function usually takes up two kind of spaces. One is that you have a way for people to interact with each other, not with the owner of the community, but also with each other, to ask questions, to learn from other people, to create user-generated content. So there's that portion. And then the other one is to have a profile so that people can share their business, their troubles, their wins, and able to have some kind of presence on it that other people can go find out about you and what you're doing. And that's one of the things in trainingsites.io, I would love for people to connect with other people, see what they're doing, see if they can work together. If there's things like joint ventures that can be done, or complementary businesses, those are all things that I think are of high value over the next year. So we got discussions and profiles and community. The next one that, again, I think is going to be even more important is the ability to do classes. And classes are live sessions just like this, or live cohorts where someone who owns their campus or is providing a campus as part of their education business, they can have live interactions one-on-one with a group of people, whether they're in a kind of course or transformation that's being provided, or just something like this where it's a webinar or an open classroom. So the ability to do that or add that on your campus, if you just have a course, it's a static course, you put it together, yeah, it's pretty cool, but it doesn't provide for the unique situation that a lot of people find themselves in that isn't getting addressed by a traditional static course. So whatever platform you pick, I think you're going to have live classes. Now, some of these ones do this. I believe School allows for it now. Kajabi has it built in. I'm not sure if Teachable does. Go High Level, I think, has these built in, another one. So you can do it in WordPress, like we're doing at trainingsites.io. There's a couple plugins, and I'll go over those individually in a minute. But those are available to you on the rented programs, some of them, and on WordPress, of course. So you kind of have to decide, am I going to do classes, or is that something I want to include? Do I actually want to talk to people? Am I motivated to help people one to a few or one to many in a live kind of interactive way? So we got classes that are there. Here's one that a lot of people don't think of, especially with education businesses, is the ability to do affiliates. And affiliates, trying to sell courses, and if you're doing courses, you can use affiliates. And what an affiliate means is that, an example, anyone who has registered for trainingsites.io, you may not know it, but you are automatically an affiliate, so that if you refer someone to trainingsites.io to sign up and they end up purchasing some access to my live classes, you actually are paid a commission. There's a couple benefits to that. One is it gives people the incentive to be involved in the community, and also it removes me from having to market as much as if I would have to if I didn't have an affiliate program. And this is something that you can do with some of the other platforms. I have it set up on WordPress here, and I have it set up so that as soon as someone registered for the campus, they're automatically an affiliate. And if they choose to promote it, that's fine. And if they don't, that is fine too. So I think we need in that platform to have some kind of affiliate set up, and be able to give the opportunity for people to do this. So one of the questions I got here is a community similar to a niche? In my opinion, no, they're separate things. I try not use the word niche. I try and use the word topic, and I'll tell you why. If you are building an education business, and actually I'll put the link below after this. There's a couple things I use AI for at the start of all of this when I'm playing around with it, and one of them is what I call, if you've done SEO before, you may have heard of something called a topical authority map. And what that is about, some people use the word niche, but what it is about is picking a particular topic and looking at all the related categories associated with that topic, and then mapping out all of the related searches and keyword searches that relate to the category, and the category relates to the topic. Some people call that a niche, but I think that if you get too focused, especially within education business, and look at a traditional SEO niche, I think that's limiting, and it stops you from creating the kind of content that people need when they're doing this. So I'll put some links to the prompts and stuff here on the course about creating a topical course map is what I referred to. And maybe in another session, I'll actually do a live one here, because there's some simple prompts that basically create it. And what I do, I use a pickleball example as one. Pickleball is one of the sports I'm interested in and have some fun with. And if I do a search for pickleball and I say, what are the top additional categories of people searching about pickleball, it'll give me a list of, if I ask for 10, it'll give me a list of 10. So if I ask for 10 related categories or terms that relate to pickleball, which is my topic, I may find pickleball clothing, pickleball injuries, pickleball strategy, places to play. I may find 10. If I ask for 10, I couldn't get 10. But if I ask for 25, I may get 25. If I said my niche is pickleball clothing, or pickleball, competitive pickleball, or pickleball equipment, I think of a niche as that one category. And I think there's an opportunity, if you are in an education business, to talk about your topic, if there's enough of those subcategories available. So community, in my mind, community is not a niche. It is the people that are interested in the same topic, or variations of the same topic that you're interested in. So I hope that kind of helps to give a little bit of clarification on it. And again, if you do have any questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them in the chat here. So what do we got here? Let me go back to my my video pencil. Affiliates, classes. I have one additional piece, and I'm going to clear this here. And what that is commerce. And what I mean by commerce is if you want to do this out of the goodness of your heart, you certainly can. But in any of these education businesses, it's for profit. I want to be able to earn some money, sharing my expertise and my experience. So you need to be able to have some way to monetize it, or some business model, and you're going to have some way to collect that. And if you're looking at that, and you look at whether I'm going to do it on WordPress, or I'm going to do it on one of the third-party tools, you're going to have some way to collect money. And there's two ways that people think of kind of off the start, and that's either like per course, or they have some kind of membership. So it's membership where it's paid monthly, that elusive passive income. I don't do any work, I get paid every month, or per course. And I think of when you actually get into this, I think one of the things that I did another video on 12 income streams that you can have in an education business, having a way to capture those transactions and be able to deliver more than just a course is important. So I think you have to have some kind of way to, get paid for what it is that you're doing, whatever that happens to be, over and above just selling a course or a membership site. So we got the courses, we've got the community, we've got the classes, we've got an affiliate program, we've got discussions and profiles. All of these things are part of a campus. And when you're running a campus or you're running an education business, there's a couple of things that a lot of people don't think of. And what are they? The first one is support. You need to have some way to provide support that is technical support, or support in and around the questions that get asked in the community that don't relate to the topic and what it is that you're teaching. If you have WordPress, I'll show you a plugin that works that does that. but you need to have someone basically to answer questions. And those questions, the biggest question that you get in any kind of community or campus, the ones that I run in most frequently, unfortunately, are login details and how to get around the campus. Those are the big ones that happen. You try and do onboarding or have some kind of videos that are available, which is something that I have on the campus, but you still run into trouble. And the thing for me is I try and remove support questions out of the discussion or the community so that the problems that people have about using the site are not the ones that overwhelm the actual value or user-generated content about what it is that you're teaching. And I'll show you some of these after, some of the plugins that I use in WordPress. But if you're using a third-party service or you're building your old campus, I think it's a good idea to have a way to have a support mechanism that's kind of built into whatever system or platform that you're using. So support, what are some of the other ones? Here's the one that's kind of neat that a lot of people don't remember, but it's some kind of booking or appointment system. And in the campus that I've built, and again, I'll show this to you on the left-hand side menus, but I have a booking system because one of the ways that I'm earning income is by either mentoring someone one-on-one or at least guiding people in a particular direction and giving them the opportunity to reach out and raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm interested in some additional help from you, or I have a unique situation that isn't answered in a course, in a video, in the community, or it's something that I don't want to talk about, or I need some one-on-one help. Can I book some time with you? And if there's a large number of people in your campus or in your space, it can be difficult to manage that and organize that. So I think a booking system or some kind of appointment system where you're interacting with people and managing that is a good idea. And again, you have to ask, is this something I have on my own platform, or is it something that's a third-party tool that I want to work with? So those are the pieces that I think are involved in a platform. If you're interested in doing it in WordPress, I'll give you some plugins right now that would be of interest to you, hopefully, as you're thinking about this. And again, let me know if these are the ones that you're looking for or thinking about. Any other questions there? I don't think so. Okay, here we go. Here's the ones that you can think of if you're using WordPress and WordPress exclusively. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 of them now that I would recommend. There's more than this, but these are actual plugins that you might want to consider using. The kind of the biggest one in terms of usage right now is one called LearnDash. And LearnDash is a learning management system, or LMS. And what that is, it's a plugin for WordPress that allows you to create and organize courses, and it allows you to do things like quizzes and or structured question and answers or assignments, and allow to to set them up in courses. And those courses can include videos, text, audio, downloads. It's to manage that process of learning something that you as the teacher want to set up and use for that. It is a complex plugin in the respect that you can do things like assignments or assessments, quizzes, and certification. There's a lot of different options that are available, and some of them, I think, unless you're in a business-to-business market or in a market that requires some kind of certification or that you're offering it, I think personally it's probably a little bit too complex right now. Having said that, it is an excellent platform, and I'll show it to you after. The other one on the WordPress side that you'll run into is one called Lifter. Lifter LMS. That's another good plugin for WordPress that works really, really well. It's set up a little bit different in terms of the way that they sell it, but it's a really great plugin. The other one that I have on a couple other sites, I have all of these ones on other sites. So the other one is Tutor LMS, which again, I like as well. That one is really good looking. and it does things that are similar to LearnDash, Tutor, or sorry, LearnDash and Lifter. And those are kind of the three big ones that I run into on WordPress. So those are all LMS plugins, and they all work pretty similarly, where you can do courses and quizzes and certification and things like that if you want to. And those work as plugins. They're all paid plugins that work directly within the site. So actually, let me pull one up. I'll just kind of show you where those ones are. I didn't want to do that, but that's okay. So just open one up here so that you see that. And again, I'll put the links to these ones below in the comments and on the site with the replay of this. Learn. So we'll just do Learn Worlds as another service there, but here's LearnDash just so you can see it. And again, LearnDash is this one here, and it's actually owned by Stellar now, which is a hosting company. I believe they purchased it last year. And again, if you haven't done that one, it's $199 for a year. I have an affiliate link if you want to use it, of course, and go through and you can see kind of the different pieces that are there. And again, this is the one that's probably the most used at this point in terms of WordPress plugins. And it allows you to hook on to all sorts of integrations like the events calendar, Buddy Boss, instructor roles, groups, grade books, being able to take notes, reviews. It's a complex, full-featured kind of product. So that's LearnDash, which is one. The other one is Lifter, LMS. Open that one up so you can see it. And that one works very, very similarly. The way that it's set up in terms of the examples is different. So this one looks like an article. Let's go to the home page. You can look at some examples and showcases. Again, another great platform, works really, really well. Again, it gets to the point where it's personal preference on these ones. And these one you have to pay a little bit of money for. These are all ones that cost some money. The other one that I've used is Tutor LMS, which just came out a brand new version number 3. And this one, I really like the look of it. It's a sharp looking one that makes it easy. And they have things, for example, like a course builder here you can see on the screen, curriculum, AI tools stuff built in. Very, very cool systems if your focus is exclusively on selling courses. So those are the 3 platforms to look at. And if you're on the other side of the coin and you're looking, I don't really want WordPress, I'm not going to spend some time with it, what can I use? Then you're looking at tools, for example, like Learn Worlds or Teachable, or Kajabi has, I think Teachable is probably that might be a good one to kind of, Thinkific, Teachable is another one, sorry, Thinkific, I forgot about the name of that one. So these ones are third-party services that allow you to upload your particular course material, and they do almost the same things as the lifters and LMS, the lifters and tutors and LearnDash, but they're not necessarily as robust or with all the different options as well. So hopefully that helps in terms of the ones there for platforms. Again, if there's any questions, let me know, anything in the chat. Hopefully we can help you out and answer those as best as possible. Okay, so we've got ones like WordPress, we've got Teachable, Thinkific, Kajabi, and the ones that I'm also mentioning, a little bit more rounded one. I would think Thinkific and Teachable are ones that are closer to a WordPress plugin. The ones that are all encompassing, like Kajabi, those particular ones, they have courses and a platform for courses, but they're not as flexible or don't have the same amount of options as you would find in the LearnDash plugins, or even ones like Thinkific or Teachable. So if you are selling online courses and your focus is on, traditional online courses, you're going to have to kind of decide, do I want to work on these ones that give me a lot of options as a third-party service, or do I need all of those? And do I want to just use a service that does a whole bunch of things like Kajabi or Go High Level as an example? Or do I want to have it and own it and have it on my WordPress site moving forward? So those are the ones that are kind of traditional LMSs. The ones that I'm using now on my particular site here, I'll just show this for you right show this to you right now. This one is actually one that combines the community. This is a WordPress plugin. Again, I'll put all the links to this one. This is a WordPress plugin called Fluent Community. And Fluent Community has simple courses built into the community. And this is what I'm using now, is this is called Fluent Community. You might look at this and let me just open another one up. It's called Circle. Circle SO is a platform, a community platform that now has courses. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I can open this one up. Yeah, so in circle.so, I think it's $97 or $100 a month. You can have discussions, basic courses, events, chat, workflows, that kind of thing, gamification. That one is a third-party service. The one that this piece that this doesn't have to the extent of the other ones is the CRM piece. But Circle here, this tool Circle, is very similar to this one, which is Fluent Community. Kind of the same things. Fluent Community, this one is on WordPress. Circle is standalone, third-party service on its own. So we got courses, kind of pick a platform, which is the right one for you. I wish I could tell you the specific one that you should use right away. Problem is that there's a lot of choices and you have to kind of weigh stuff out. How am I going to build my business? What are the goals? Who am I trying to help beforehand? And those are the things that that I think you have to think about. Let me just, I'm just going to open up here. Let me just open this one for a second, because I want to open up the map just so that you see that. This is the campus map. And again, this is in, let me just do these ones. There we go. There we go. Number 5 was the one that I was talking about. Number 5, this particular one is in the campus map. I'm going to make this so that we can fit it. And this was really about all of the pieces that you need in your platform, where I'm talking about self-hosted platforms, the software as a service, support, communication tools, video and audio platforms, branding and themes, CRM, marketing, AI tools. This whole piece of the campus, we're talking right about here, which platform that you're using. The thing is that you have to pick the right tools based on what it is that you want to do and what your business model is. Because if you don't have these pieces done beforehand, it's very, very hard or difficult to pick the right tools. So I think one of the questions here was, what are these platforms that can post courses? All of these platforms can post courses to some extent. Which is the right one to pick? It depends on what you've got for a business model and the kind of content that you're trying to teach in the business, and if you need a community and all these other pieces. If you want to treat it as an education business or just selling courses. And unfortunately, if you go online right now and you're on Facebook, you're going to get 1,000 ads about, just sell courses or just have a membership site and everything's easy. It may have been easy 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I think it's really, really tough and complex now, unfortunately. If you're going to treat it like a full business, a real business, an online business, a teaching business, that's the challenge. And you're going to have to pick or go through some of these and apply the right tools to the kind of business that you're picking, that you're thinking of. So, I think the question, I don't know who, you've got Run, I don't know how to pronounce it, was the person that was asking these questions. Let me just open this one up if I can. Don't know how to move I don't know how to actually use a comment thing on the platform I'm on to actually move it. But again, all of these platforms can do courses. Let me know, is it a complex course? Is it a long course? Is it a mini course or a micro course? Are you offering certification? Do you need quizzes? Do people have to go through it in order, or can they go through it, lesson 1, lesson 7? Again, let me know if there's a particular format that you have in mind or a way that you want to do it, or how it fits in to your business. And again, if I don't answer it here today, just get in the trainingsites.io campus and then just ask me. You know, just say, look, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm up to, and you know, what can I do, or what are the options that I have here? And don't be afraid to, you know, get into the study hall here on the left-hand side. Just ask some questions. You know, what tools and resources, what are some of my options, and I'll do my best to answer them here going forward. Okay, so put them in. I'll get you links. I'll link to the videos that I have, or anything that would help you kind of make a decision doing that. Okay, so we got this courses. What's kind of next? It's the community portion. There's, on the WordPress side, there's two choices to consider, or two things to think about. And there we go. What AI tools exist for courses which have lots of product demonstrations? Course structure will have big pictures and a lot of how-to product demonstrations. Okay, good question. I'll get to that in 1 second. I just want to go over the pieces for community that work with courses, because that's the other piece that I think is important. Fluent Community, and again, I'll open this one up so that you can see it, because there's two that I think are popular on the WordPress side. And again, I have links to these ones here. Fluent Community is the one that I'm using, that is the community and includes the courses, but simple courses. The other one that you'll run into is one called BuddyBoss. And BuddyBoss is a community platform that is integrated with Tutor LMS, with Lifter, with LearnDash, and allows you basically to go right into that particular platform. Now, the interesting thing with BuddyBoss, if you haven't heard of this one or used it, is you can actually create an app based on your community. And I think on this one, I don't know if I can share this screen right now, but I'll try and do it. I have an app. I have a website called mypickleballfriends.com. And I'll show you that one because it runs on BuddyBoss. It's a community that runs on BuddyBoss and Tutor LMS. But this one's interesting because you can have your app, and I have it, I don't know if I can show it right here, but I usually can show, I don't know if you can see that one, but I basically have an app that is a native app that is the community and the courses. They're available on an individual app. So BuddyBoss is kind of neat that it allows you to have the community, use some of the plugins for LearnDash, and also be able to have a mobile app. So we've got Fluent Community and BuddyBoss on the LearnDash side, and then on the other side, the software as a service, you have ones like Circle and Kajabi, Go High Level. Those ones also allow community features now. I think the one in Go High Level is called Collab. School, for example, allows community in classes. They're all kind of melded in. So do you need a community? Does it fit into the platform that you want? Again, one of the questions. So there's one free paste. Okay, so I'll answer this one first. And I'll just pull it up so I have the question in front of me. It's like, what AI tools exist for courses which have lots of product demonstrations? Course structure will have big picture, intro, and then lots of how-to product demonstrations. So that's a good question. If you are doing that, what I suggest personally is if you have something that's complex like that, I would use one of the WordPress ones like Lifter, like LearnDash, and like Tutor LMS. And I'll show you why in a second. Now, I'm not sure about Teachable and Thinkific and those ones. Those particular platforms for teaching might do it. I'm not familiar enough to say yes or no on those ones. But I will do is I will open up, let me just open up, I'm going to open up, I think I can do this. I don't want to show a client site, but we'll do this one. I'm going to go to my training sites. I'm in the background here. I'm just going to go to my trainingsites.io site, and I'm actually going to open up the LearnDash plugin, which is not public, to just show you a courses or a couple courses on how it might work in your situation right now. So let me just open up and make sure I've got, there it is. LearnDash is actually installed. So Again, the ones in WordPress work like this one so that you can see it. And hopefully you can see this. These are actually the courses in LearnDash that I have on the training sites. It's just not set up that you're able to take a look at it right now. So let me just pull one up so that we can actually do that. Again, these are all individual courses, mini courses, micro courses, and we'll do one here. I'm just trying to find one that's a good course to be able to show that it's something. Actually, let's create a new one. I'm going to create a new course. So hopefully you can see this. Again, I'll do my best to go through it. I'm in LearnDash right now. I'm going to go and add a new course. And when I do that, the new platform is going to come up with the actual course. And the reason I'm showing you this is because you have what's called a complex course, and I'll show you how this particularly works. So I'm going to put the course title here, and I can do a description of the course. The course is going to go here. Now the part that's interesting when we're doing this, and this is a part that I think, this is a regular WordPress site. So anything that you want to put into WordPress, whether that be a video or videos, whether it's audio files, links to course materials, you can add as many as you want to each of the individual lessons and or topics that are in a lesson. And this is the thing that I think you might want to apply to your unique situation, is that when you set up your course and you give it a description, there's two ones that are important. One is called settings and the other one is a builder. And I'm going to show you the builder for a second, because a lot of times when you create courses, there's the course title, the main course title, and that course may have segments to it. So if you're using or showing a complex piece of equipment or a complex piece of software, you may have segments about it. For example, about introduction, setup, use case 1, use case 2. So you can have segments. We can create a segment in this. But we can also, if I want to do a section heading one, I'm going to do, we'll just do intro. And I'm also going to add another section called setup. And again, I'm just on the fly here. Make sure I can spell properly. So I'm going to put some sections. And in the setup, for example, what I can do here is I can go and I can add a new lesson. And the lesson might be lesson number 1. And I'm going to add that. And this is called the builder in LearnDash. So this one can go and it can be part of. I've got a setup segment and I've got setup lesson number 1. And in all of these, I can also add a topic. So you've got 3 levels that are available to you. Just do a couple of these so that you see it. And the keyboard's a little away from my hands, so I'm reaching here. So here's an example of stuff for complex. The one that you mentioned, you've got like a lot of demos and pieces. Here's one where you can create a whole big course that has segments, it has lessons, and it has topics. And at the bottom here, there's also a thing that says new quiz. You can have a quiz for each segment, for each lesson, and for each topic. And you can have course materials for each of these as well. And it's just a WordPress site, so if you have videos, you can add it. If you have links to documents, if you have text, you can break it up or break it down whatever way that makes sense to you. It's just easy to get set up in this particular case. And you can even do a final quiz here. So this is an example of LearnDash. Lifter works the same way, and so does Tutor LMS. I don't know necessarily about Thinkific and Teachable that it gets down to that level of detail. But if you have really complex stuff, you know, this is one of the options that you want to make sure that you take a look at. This one, the other thing that's interesting here for a lot of people is that you can have it set up so that the courses are dripped, so that it only come out a week at a time, for example, or a day at a time. You can also have it so that the course has to be done sequentially. And what that means is they have to do segment 1, lesson 1 first before they're even allowed to go to lesson 2. They may still finish it in a day, but they can't take the lessons out of order, and they can't take the lessons until they've finished or accomplished or completed what was requested in the particular piece. So here's one, for example, also with prerequisite courses. So you can say no one can take this course unless they've passed or completed this other course. So when I was talking about, having stuff that's really complex for courses, something like LearnDash, and what you're talking about might be something that you want to look at. So big picture, and then how-to product demonstrations. And the question you have to ask yourself here when you're looking at this is, do I want to have one big course, or do I want to have a couple mini courses that are all connected? And again, these are some of the choices that you have to make when you're going through this. You've got an interesting question. It's one of those ones where you do your homework first and then kind of decide what's the platform that I need to be able to deliver this kind of content. So hopefully that helps your answer there. What else can we do there? Course structure, big picture. Happy New Year. Options for free, paid, or for hosting. So just make sure in the comments or in the chat, just make sure that I understand the question. Is this on the trainingsites.io, or is it for if you're selling courses? How do you set that up? So if you could let me know, I'll let you know on the Training Sites one. I'll take a look at it right now and show you how that works, how I've personally got it set up with a campus. And then I'll show you how it can be set up back on this as a particular example. So the way that I'm doing things personally on this is on trainingsites.io. First of all, remember I was talking about support. There's a couple things here that I tried to do. One of them is I have an orientation and tour. The question was, do you want to remove support calls? Yes, I want to remove support calls that aren't into the actual discussion about, using AI, creating courses, creating and building campuses in education business. So I've put or created an orientation tour. There was onboarding emails that you got when you signed up. The first one was about take the darn orientation course, so that there's a minimum number of questions. The other thing that's at the bottom is, if you look, we have contact support at the bottom, and that gives you the ability to contact the support ticketing system that's there. And of course, I'm in as an admin, so I don't get to see it, but you would be able to open a ticket and see what particular tickets that you have there. So orientation and support desk are some of the other ones that are important to get started. But the way I've got my business set up is that I'm making all of the traditional courses, or what used to be called courses, available. And they're not necessarily courses. I wish I could change I can't change the names, but I'm not really sure what to put it together. But I think it's more of organized or curated lessons or topics about a specific category or section that is related to the topic. So I put one together with all the AI prompts that I use when, or that I find being used when I'm creating, traditional course content, or at least learning material. What's the workflow that I follow when I am creating content that is, what's called traditional courses. How to create an onboarding automation, which are questions for people. It's like, how do I let people know I have a new course? Or, the campus map, which I highly suggest you take, because that covers the 10-step program to putting this all together. So these ones are all free. I have these ones all free. They're all set up. If you do get a chance and you're playing around with this, go take a look at this one right here, the face-to-face selling course. I started off personally as a sales trainer and speaker in the late 80s and early 90s. The first website I had was virtualselling.com, which I still own, and that was from 1996. But I started being a sales trainer, and this actual course was created in 2001. So this course is 24 years old. If you do get a chance, go take a look at it, because it's pretty what I was doing then was pretty interesting. And the thing that I appreciate now in what I did is the psychology in all of this still applies today when you are building an education business. So if you get to see that one, just play around with it. It is a video course, and you'll see how I was doing videos 24 years ago. But all of these courses are free in my campus. If the question you're having is how do I set it up for selling courses myself, there's two ways that you can do it. One of them is the platform that you pick. Most of them allow you to charge for courses. So if you're using LearnDash as an example, and I think I'll open this one up so you can see it again. One of the options that I can on this one is, let me just see if it's a paid course. I have to just remember where this one is. Course materials, course points, expiration date, course progressions. There we go. So this one here, course enrollment, all of the plugins that I'm aware of have a couple choices. One of them is they're open here, and what open means is that anyone that comes to your website, irrespective of whether they're logged in or not, they see your content. So you can still build out your segments, your lessons, your topics, your quizzes, but it's just open. It's just like a regular web page on your website where you can't charge for people. You don't even ask them to log in. On the other hand, you have free, and what free means is that the course content is there for people to see the lessons, the names of the lessons if you want, or the titles of the lessons. They see a description of the course, but they would have to manually enroll to be able to see the content. And if it's free, in that case, what means is they have to register on your site. And I think all of the platforms allow for that as well. So you're collecting an email address, but you don't charge any money for access to it. The other ones that are available are kind of a buy now and a recurring one. And buy now, like in LearnDash, you can set up a PayPal account or a Stripe account within LearnDash. And if you have it set to buy now, you're going to have the option of saying, yeah, it's $97. Okay, and here's the link to the Stripe account or your PayPal account or a WooCommerce product that's there, but people have to purchase it and they have to pay you money. Once they have a successful transaction, then they get access to the course. The other one that's built into many of these is recurring, and that's just like it sounds, a membership site where they would have to pay $27 a month and they get access to the course as long as they're paying. When they stop paying, the access to the course disappear. And then closed ones are using some other tools to control access of what it is you're doing. And the one, I'll open this one up. If you're using WordPress, the one that I recommend and I've been using for 7 or 8 years right now is called WP Fusion. That particular one allows you to protect all sorts of parts on your site based on tags and based on payments. So that is a really cool tool. And again, I could do a whole series of videos on that one. So the question was, how do I charge for stuff? And, how do I make it access or not particular access to it? That's how it can be done in most of the courses and most of the platforms. One of those kind of things, am I going to use this or am I not going to use this tool? And how do I want people to actually pay or access it? And again, it all has to do with that campus map and your business tool and how you want to set things up and grow your business. So those are some of the ones that I want to talk about. Let me see any more questions here. And again, video other day about questions for. Okay, so here's one of the ones, options for paid hosting videos. I will talk about this, and I actually have a video. Maybe I should put it up actually. I'm not going to save this course I was working on, the one that I just created. I'm just going to leave it, but I will show you right now. Let me just see. I do have a course on Vimeo actually. And if you're not familiar with Vimeo, Vimeo is a video. There we go. Here's one, how to use Vimeo for course videos. So this is LearnDash. You can actually see a particular course that was set up here, a description, and then I have a whole set of lessons and topics. So there's lesson 1, lesson 2. So I've got this one set up on LearnDash. This is a course. Maybe I'll bring it over, update it, and bring it over. But this particular course talks about how do I host my videos. And right now there's a couple different choices for that and what you end up doing with it. And I'll go over those ones now. You can always still host. You can always still host your videos on YouTube, which is like, you know, YouTube's going to be there. It's a platform that's there. You can still host stuff on YouTube. And when you host on YouTube, you have the option to make it private. Private or unlisted, I think which one works. But I think unlisted, private and unlisted. So if you're creating videos, you can just put them up on YouTube and you could mark them as unlisted. So that means you can add them to your course. They'll be there. No one sees them because they're not listed. No one's going to be able to search for them. You have a direct link in your account and you can put that link directly on your website. Now, that's one way to do it. The thing is when you do use that and you open up the video, what happens in the video? At the bottom of the video, there's links to all of the other YouTube videos and there's stuff all over the screen. So you can't control the other pieces of stuff that gets on the screen. So that's one way of doing it, is using YouTube. The other way you might want to do is if you're using WordPress or some of these platforms, you might want to just use the native place where you can save your videos. If I'm not mistaken, like if you're using WordPress, you can just add the video. There we go. Just get rid of this call. My apologies. There. Oh, there, disappear that one. Okay, so you can use the media library on your website, or you can use the media library that's on Thinkific or Teachable or those ones where you can basically upload it and they serve it. I don't think you want to use the media library on your WordPress site because it's not designed to host big ones, so I don't recommend that. If you're using a third-party service, you can use that, but the issue that I have personally is if you add all your videos to Kajabi or to Teachable or to Thinkific, what happens if you leave there? Your videos are on the software as a service. Let me just erase this because it was awful. You got this as a software as a service, the third-party tool. If you ever leave there, you've lost all your content because it's hosted somewhere else. So that the native hosting is one way that you can do it. The other options that you have, and these are the ones that I technically recommend, is you use Vimeo, which I've been doing for years, or you use a platform. It's called Bunny. I don't know if it's bunny.net or bunny CD. So let me just pull that one up. Vimeo is the platform that I use. I've been using it for maybe 10 years. I'll tell you why in a minute that I'm using that particular one. And then Bunny, is it bunny.net? Yeah, bunny.net. This is a content delivery network that has the ability to serve up your videos or stream your videos as opposed to letting people download them. And that when you can have an interface so that it is uncluttered. Both of these ones, the Bunny, and Vimeo, allow you basically to control the player so that there's nothing on it, maybe other than your logo. So it's not encumbered by all of the other advertising and things that may show up for you. And the really cool part about ones, for example, like Vimeo, I don't know if Bunny does this as well. But the one that's cool about video is if you've got a very, very, very important content, you can set up Vimeo so that it will only, even if someone has a link, it will only stream if it's embedded directly on your website from your domain. So if you have content that is highly sensitive, you might want to use something like Vimeo. And again, both of them work, all of them work. The one that I recommend is using Vimeo if you're looking at it in the long term, where you have your distribution of your video content is separate from the platform that you're actually using. And you know, that's kind of the weak spot, right? If Vimeo disappears, you know, it's been around for 20 years. I don't think it will, because there's just too many people in it right now. You know, you want to make sure that you have both physical copies of your videos and also the ones that you're streaming from the particular host. So hopefully that helped a little bit in terms of streaming. There we go. Video hosting because of current website response time for the viewer. And have Fluent's plugin. Okay, so that's a good question. This, if I don't know if you're familiar with how streaming works, but if you have your video hosted on a web host, like in the media library, if someone clicks on the video, what happens is your web server just tries to download as fast as it can the entire video file. And when it does that, most videos, if I take a look, for example, at a YouTube video that I put together, I did one, the one I did today, the raw video was 2 gigabytes. So if you're on a website and you have the video hosted on your web hosting account, this one was 2 gigabytes. So you have to use some tools to kind of optimize it and getting smaller, but it's still a huge file. And if it's running in your media library on your web hosting service, all the host or all the web server wants to do is just wants to give you the whole video. So it's on the person's machine, and it's actually playing from the machine, the local machine. It's not playing as it comes, it's playing either after it's downloaded or as it's downloading. So it can be really slow, and it's not set up to do that. If you use a platform like Vimeo or YouTube or bunny.net, where there is a player and a video streaming service, what happens is those two, the video player and the streaming service, they basically are working together, and the streaming service sends pieces of the video as fast as it can to the player, which displays it. And the thing that's important is, if you have a really, really fast connection, it can open the taps and send a lot of the video quickly, but only what gets needed to be played by the player. Or if, for example, you're on your cell phone and you have a crappy connection, it will send this video, but it'll send a reduced version of it so that it gets there. They can still watch it, but it may not be the same 4K quality that it would if you're on a good connection. So it's like opening the taps to a stream and only sending what needs to be sent down at the time that it needs to be sent down. So that hosting service, to maximize the response time, you're going to have to use something like Vimeo, something like YouTube, something like bunny.net to be able to serve up those particular things. And again, which one you use depends on what kind of content you want to use and how private it needs to be or not be. Okay, there's one. Let me see if there's other questions here. Again, I've been going, holy mackerel, I get going on these things and I end up talking for a long time because I got a lot to share, a lot of stuff under my belt here. So what do we got here? Okay, what other questions? RJ Grimshaw, Loom. Yeah, absolutely. Loom is another tool that you can use. There's another one. I'll open this one up. I'll just show you how these ones are here. There's actually a couple other ones. There's one called Uscreen. Uscreen is a platform for videos that is not about courses, but a platform for organized videos. That one's kind of a neat one. And Uscreen is kind of like a library, or it's kind of like a personal YouTube where you can have playlists of particular videos. There's an app for it. This one, you can have longer videos. The other one that was just mentioned was Loom. And Loom is started off with as a screen recorder. And I believe now you can do larger ones. And this one's kind of neat. This Vimeo has this as well as Loom. And this is hopefully, let me see if you're able to, apologize. Let me just go to the one that I was on before because I wasn't showing it correctly. So the one that we had, the one that I was showing you, where is it? We'll go back to it. Well, actually, we'll do Loom first. So Loom was set up initially as a video screen capture, and I think it was limited to 5 minutes of screen capture. So you were able to have a headshot, the screen, or just your headshot and the audio with it. And they do think now that they have the ability to capture the video and also host it. which is there, easily record stuff. And the part that's nice with this is they have installed a Chrome extension. This one basically says, hey, click the extension and then start recording. So right on your screen, it's not structured video per se, it's something to pick up quickly. If you notice in the upper right-hand corner of my screen where the mouse is working, I have a little V here. I have the same thing from Vimeo, where if I want to start recording my screen, my headshot, and narrating, you can do it with Vimeo, and it automatically goes to Vimeo. I think that's the exact same thing that happens on Loom. The other one I just mentioned that I wasn't showing the screen before that I'll pull up again was called Uscreen. And Uscreen is like, I think of it as a private YouTube, and it allows you to create kind of playlists of videos that are all put together and have an interface or a membership site that is basically your library of videos. So that one that's kind of neat, that's available. And again, that one's called Uscreen. There's another one too, it used to be called Searchable. I think it's called trainingsite.net, where you just basically put all of your videos in a big pot, and there's a search engine that scrapes the videos about whatever you've searched. So there's a couple other ones that are available. If you're doing traditional courses, you're going to have to pick between, I think, something like Vimeo and Bunny and YouTube, those ones that are third-party hosted streaming platforms, or you're going to have to put your videos up directly in whatever tool that you're using to sell your courses. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, Loom is kind of nice. I like that one. I haven't used it extensively. The one that I use is Vimeo. Auto description based on screen recording. That's actually something that's interesting, because now if I go and let me just open up one here. Let me just go. Right now I think I have 800 videos in Loom right now, but if I go and I open one up here, and I don't want to play it, but this one here is one that I captured. But if I go to edit now, in the actual Vimeo one, I'm in my library here, Vimeo. If I go into here, I now have a text-based trimmer. And this is directly built into Vimeo. So there's a couple tools like Descript. I've done some videos on Descript that allow you to basically edit the text. So in this case, in Descript, and now in Vimeo, is it will transcribe the video here, and I can edit the video, or edit the text, and it will actually edit the video. So this is a text editor of videos. I don't know if Loom does that, but I know Vimeo does, and I've used it in the past to replace paying extra for Descript, which originally started off as kind of the key feature or key bonus on that one. So it's just transcribing stuff here. Once the transcription's done, then I'd be able to just cut and paste it and do that as well. So yeah, Descript is more than transcriptions now. You can actually basically create all your courses right within Descript. Again, it's like, which one am I going to pick? Which one am I going to focus on? Which are the ones that I want to spend my time learning how to use based on what happens? So auto description, I think was one of the questions. Yeah, I think, you know, here's the one here where if I just want to get rid of the ums and ahs, or I go, this paragraph was an absolute waste of time, I have the option, you know, of just keep only this or delete it from the video. And if I delete the text here, there's the one in the transcription where, sorry, I wasn't showing the screen properly. If I get rid of this, I select this text and I, you know, choose delete from video, it does the editing for me. It just deletes that whole section and merges or brings the pieces back together. So kind of a cool tool there. Any other questions? I've been going an hour and 15 minutes. I try and do these every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. If you do have questions, obviously let me know just directly within the in the campus. You know, I'd love for you to just put the questions here in the study hall. I'll do the best that I can. If there's things that you want to see, just let me know here and I'll create videos on them if I have experience using them. And I can either get the videos that I've researched or I've used before that someone else has done a great job, I'll bring them in. But just ask and see which one is important to you. Put it in here and I'll at least get the resources to you. And then every week I put up in the classes, I'll put the links to the upcoming events, ask your questions, put them in here in the details, and I'll do my best to cover those in the site. So let me see if there's any more questions. One last question here. It is cool that it can transcribe audio. Can it also transcribe video if no one is talking? Someone imports the file of video, audio description would say first step. That's an interesting question. So I think if I understand it correctly, the question is, if I upload a video, can I get a description of what's happening in the video? And the short answer to that is yes. And I'll do this before I leave, just so that you can see it. And I think this is part of the video that I showed, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. But if you go to, let me just open this up. I'm on the screen here. I'm going to go to AI Studio. And we'll go to, so here's where I am. I'm at aistudio.google.com, and I'm going to type in live. Now, this one here, I'm going to end off with this. If you haven't seen the video, I'll try and put the link below to it. But this is the brand new experimental version of Gemini 2 Flash over on the right-hand side. Hopefully you can see my mouse. 2.0 Flash, and I'm on the stream real time. So this is not available to everyone at this point, but again, 3 months, 6 months from now, I would expect that you're going to see this on your desktop. And what it is, it's multimodal live API example. And what that means is, if I go to ChatGPT right now, I can type in a prompt, or I can narrate my prompt, which gets automatically turned into a text prompt. And then when I do the prompt, I get a text output back from ChatGPT. What multimodal inputs is, if you look here on the kind of the bottom, the 3 boxes here, one of them is talk to Gemini, the other one is show Gemini or share your screen. This middle one is what I think you're talking about. If, for example, I'm sharing my screen, what Gemini is doing, it's watching this screen, and you can instruct it to explain what I'm doing, or even ask it questions about what I'm doing in the video without me even talking. So the example I used was, let's say I'm a pickleball instructor and I'm teaching someone how to do a serve. So I'm there, I'm on the pickleball court, I'm doing my serves, I'm doing all this stuff. We could say, or someone could just basically say, explain what the person is doing, or how come their feet are here, or how did they hold the paddle? Or give me a summary of what the instructor just showed me in the video. So is it coming? Yeah, I think it's coming. It's coming sooner rather than later. And you'll, the ones that I saw from Google and the other research I did on this is going to be built into the player. And in fact, the start of this is already in Vimeo. There's a couple documents that I had on Vimeo that I put links to, that they have this AI tool that is actually being built into the player. So you'll be able to interact with the videos in real time. If someone's doing a TED Talk and they're up on the stage, they may have some slides behind them. You could be looking at the player and basically ask the player and Gemini, just say, could you please, any bullet points or any items that he lists in his talk, could you do an overlay of those? Or could you create a summary for me of those? So I think that's happening very quickly. Is it here yet? It's here experimentally. Will it be available for everyone? I don't know when, but it's going to be cool to see what happens with that. Okay. Link to the, yeah, so, okay, so link to the videos, or I'll do my best to do that. The one where you can play around with this right now and go spend some time with it, that particular one, that link is here. It's aistudio.google.com/live. You need a Google account, and depending where you are, if you're in North America, I think you get access to it right now. I don't know outside of North America. I'm in Canada, so I get access to it. Again, don't know if you get it, but you can just go play around with it live right now and have some fun with it. It's pretty cool, and this whole multimodal thing is pretty neat. So hopefully that helps you there. Any more last questions? So bring this in for landing. Okay, I want to thank everyone, first off, for joining this. I'm really excited about this whole space. We didn't even talk about using AI prompts today because I think AI prompts are just a tiny, tiny, tiny part of this whole business. And if you didn't see the video that I did today, let me just pull this one up. Please go and watch it because I kind of explain where this campus fits in. And the video I'm going to do tomorrow is kind of go in on this whole campus. So this is the one that I did here. It's on the campus. If you go to the main feed page, you'll see it's the second or third one down. And this one is about courses at the tipping point. If you're thinking about just selling and creating courses, watch this before you go all in on courses, because I think there's a lot more there. And we were touching on it a little bit today. And I think as people that are playing around with this, we're going to go and say, you know, am I going to get lost in creating content, or am I going to guide, nurture, curate, simplify for people using my greatest asset, my currency, which is my time and my experience, and be able to share what it is that you're doing in a little bit of a different way that leverages and amplifies AI and content, but doesn't focus on selling content. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. That's the piece that is in that video. Please take a couple minutes and watch it. And again, I'll put some additional links and content there. If you have any questions, make sure to ask. I'm here to help, having fun with this. And hopefully this helped you start, build, and grow your business. And again, this video will be up in the campus, and I'll try and put a description with it, as well as the links that have been mentioned. And actually, I'm just going to finish this off with one kind of piece here. And this is where you can help me. I'm not entirely sure the best way to actually keep all of these open classrooms, because technically I have 50 or 60 one-hour open classrooms from over the last couple years. That's a lot of open classrooms, 50 or 60 hours. I don't want to necessarily put it all up, but I still want it to be kind of a resource. So I have anytime you do a campus or a courses, you have a couple areas or things that you can do. One is, do you put it in a course? Like, do I create a course that just has 50 or 60 open classroom recordings? Or do I put it in my video library, which is the other piece that I have here, which are just my YouTube videos that are organized by categories and or a playlist, like my open classrooms. I'm putting these ones up. I'm thinking about putting it into like an open classroom here, and then just having 50 of them there. So people can search, find out what they want, but it's just a big library of videos that are not necessarily in a course. So which would you prefer? I'm asking for your help here. Which are the ones that make more sense to you? Should they be in a searchable library, or should I just add them all so that you know, that they're in some kind of campus or place where they're kind of called a course, as an example? That would help me out. Put your kind of feedback in the campus, and that certainly let me know which way you think would be the best way to know it, because that's one of the ones I really don't know the best way to do it. So I'm going to end things there today. If you haven't already joined, you're watching this after the fact, please go join trainingsites.io/join. I'd love to be able to chat with you, find out what you're working on, and hopefully help you start, build, and grow your education business. This is James. Like and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Expect the best.